Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be for the pre-match pump-up. And I'm a very lucky girl today because I'm joined by the two most handsome guys on YouTube. I've got my husband to one side and I've got the wonderful Mr. Phil P as well joining me. Jimbo, first of all, how are you doing?
Well, I feel privileged to be on here with Phil P.
I know.
Nothing more I can say.
I know. It's like I feel like I should have worn more makeup now, just to.
He's like gold dust.
To try and keep up with the beauty of Mr. P. But Phil,
seeing me, first of all, good afternoon, gorgeous couple. But seeing me on stream is a bit like finding rocking horse poo these days.
Yeah, so I said gold dust.
This is what I mean. You see, how blessed are we? But how you doing, Phil?
Hey, you're luckier than Eddie Hearn at the moment. He's financially lucky, and you're obviously financially lucky. You're married to Jimbo, and you're sharing a screen with Jimbo.
And of course with yourself, especially on a day like today when we're playing against Liverpool, and already I can see in the chat everyone, oh, I don't care about this game. It's a waste of time. It's this, it's that. But we're going to try and pump you up as best we can, or at least talk about the game before the inevitable.
We're going to smash them, Kate. We're going to smash them. We're going to spoil their title party.
Well, we try,
Jim.
and then of course,
I think we're catering their title party. I think.
This won't be the first. Oh no, it's going to be at their stadium. I was going to refer to the stadium going red and white last night for the boxing, but we won't go there. But yes, big up to everybody who's watching. Please smash a like. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, one of the hardest games, you've got to say. You know, even the most optimistic Spurs fans going to be nervous about today's game. Our last win at Anfield was back when Harry Redknapp was telling people that he didn't know how to send an email in 2011. So it's been a while. Phil, is there any chance, do you think, that we can spoil the title party for Liverpool today?
Look, there's always a chance in football. That's in the immortal words of one of our best ever players, Danny Blanchflower. That's why we play the game, because, you know, if we knew for certain, we wouldn't bother watching. And I think there might be some Spurs fans that are either not bothering watching or watching from behind the settee or couch. But yeah, look, we don't know. They might do one of two things. They might take their eye off the ball in thinking it's already done, lads, it's Tottenham sort of mentality. They might literally think it's a foregone conclusion and just be in party mode already. You know, I think one of the things we don't often think about as fans is the players as real people, everyone and their mother, and included, hopefully they will have sorted out their mum first, but will have been on their case for months, if not all of the build up to this game, looking for tickets, talking about the title, all this, that and the other. So if the players are too focused on that element of it, they could take their eye off the ball. Having said that, Spurs, in no way, shape, or form, need to be thinking, and I don't think they have been. And if you're talking about a psychological sort of switching off effect, Spurs have been wearing their Havanas or Havianas on the and smoking a Havana on the pitch for every league game since I don't know when, August maybe. But you know, that's what it looks and feels like. I don't know whether you two remember back in the day, sometimes when we had nothing to play for at the end of the season. I remember, I think one home game, I seemed to, it might have been my mind playing tricks on me, but I'm sure I saw Dimitar Berbatov and Robbie Keane's wheelie on suitcases on the side of the pitch, ready for them to get straight on the plane after the game. They were that switched off. They were in that holiday mode. I think they went off and I think they ran off to the Witherspoons in the corner of Stansted to have a quick pint at half time before they then boarded the flight to the second half. Not saying that they were unprofessional at all, but Robbie Keane was getting a whip round, and you know, I think he was having a cigarette at the back post for a couple of minutes. But yeah, I love Robbie Keane, love. But yeah, look, what I'm saying is, players are human beings, and sometimes if anything distracts them from their focus, whether it be Liverpool's focus, strange things can happen. Will something strange happen at Anfield this afternoon? I would not bet on it, but you know, let's wait and see. What do you think, Kate?
Look, it's like you say, anything can happen. I'd love to sit here and go, I think we're going to smash them. You know, when we had Poch, I would have been going into this going, yeah, we can beat anyone, but I just don't see it. But it's true what you say. All it takes is for them to just be feeling a little bit overconfident and make a couple of mistakes. It could be a dodgy challenge and a red card. You just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, regardless of whether we win or lose today, we're delaying the inevitable because I think everybody knows that Liverpool are going to win the league, whatever happens. But it'd be nice for them not to win it against us.
No, we're really sad about that as well. I think, can we all have like a metaphorical hug ourselves on the screen and the chat? I know we're crestfallen that Liverpool are going to win the league. So, you know, exactly. It's a tough time. Tough day.
I've got to say, Kate, I got Sky on, and they were just focusing on the Liverpool, and the fans are celebrating already. So,
well, I'm not really surprised.
Well, they're celebrating in the streets with flares and all that. The Tottenham buses, they must have seen this. It might gee them up a bit more.
Well, yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
And I saw that, it blew me off.
I mean, Liverpool are unbeaten in 14 matches at Anfield, winning 12 and drawing twice. So they've got every right to be confident with our away record as well. Go on, Phil, what was you going to say?
Look, I was just going to say, look, what we've seen sometimes, whether it's Spurs, whether it's other teams, sometimes if you do rotate with a big game in mind, I know I used to feel this happened a lot under Poch, actually, with some of the League Cup games in the early rounds. I remember one particular game we lost at home to a team we shan't mention in front of the children, and Poch played like a few second string, but even the ones that were left over from the first team, you could say, didn't really play well, and you sort of almost got the feeling that the lads that came in were demotivated because they knew they were only getting a rare run out because, you know, he had his mind on the weekend's fixture. And the lads that were playing from the first team were thinking, well, even the gaffer doesn't care about this fixture too much because look how many kids he's brought in, or look how many, you know, of the bottom feeders they've brought in. But, you know, the mentality should be different to that, because ultimately, whoever it might be, whether it's Jed Spence or any of the players that might get the call today that maybe aren't assured of a place for Thursday, I would, you know, me personally, but obviously from a fan point of view, you know, I'd be chomping at the bit to show exactly what I'm made of to try and get in that team for Thursday night, and putting it right on Angie's toes to give the manager a decision to make. Look how well I've played at Anfield, Gaffer. Can you really leave me out? Do you really fancy that?
Yeah.
But whether the players will do it, you know, again, I'd say odds against Chris. God bless Chris. What a legend. Big up, Chris.
He is. Yeah, you're culture absolutely right. I mean, I did put in my predicted 11 but I'm still not sure if I really believe this will be the 11. But I put in Vicario in goal, Spence, Romero, Van de Ven and Gray, Bergvale, Bentancur and Sarr, Johnson, Richarlison, and the birthday boy, whose birthday is today, Matthias Tell, up front. Jim, do you see more changes, less changes? I mean, what do you think? We all know that the whole season hinges on Thursday, but at the same time, can we afford to not play the likes of Romero and Van de Ven?
The thing is with this manager, Kate, you just never know what he's going to do. I've said it on here before. You think that he's going to put a weakened team out because we've got a big game a few days away, and then he puts his strongest team out. So with this manager, I've got no clue. But he's got. I think because we've got nearly a full squad. I think we have got a full squad apart from Sonny. I think, have we? It should be a decent team out there.
Yeah.
I think whoever he picks, it should be a team that should be able to give him a go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
the difficulty is,
Phil, what about you?
If we go a goal behind, that's when will the players have the stomach for trying to come back. But look, at the end of the day, they should use it as a good exercise. And to be fair, the atmosphere going into the ground, this is what you wanted. But if you weren't inspired, or you're not inspired by this sort of thing, for me, that would be almost like my team talk. Look at this. They're all in party mode. That they think we're just turning up, lambs to the slaughter. I mean, look at Palace yesterday.
Yep.
I don't know, but did the Villa supporters, even if not the players, just think this is a formality? I think Liverpool are in exactly the same boat. Now, okay, I would probably say there's even a bigger gulf at the moment between, cheers, Danny, between us and Liverpool. But, at the moment, although we absolutely deserve to be where we are in the league, the league table doesn't lie in all these analogies and sort of all the cliches that you can nail it. We do deserve to be where we are. But if you look, only probably Liverpool have properly given us an old-fashioned chasing, really. The rest of them, we've just been out tactically. We deserve to lose an awful lot of those games. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely we did. But what I'm saying is, it's not like we've gone to some of these grounds or they've come to White Hart Lane and we've been absolutely massacred. But unfortunately, we're now playing up against a team that's probably given us, both in the home league game and in the away leg of the semi up at Anfield, we've probably had the biggest chasings of the season. So look, there's two ways around it. It's going to be difficult. But I would just say, and because even the other day against Forest, sort of subdued, sort of dead rubber settings. There was loads of empty seats around us up in Block 258. Shout out to Block 258. You know who you are. Thanks for putting up with me, people. But it's as soon as it started to go wrong, and we should have been 3-0 down, thanks VAR, and then we didn't seem to want to get a shot on target. I just started losing it and went completely crazy. But look, Kate, is this exactly the team you said, except none of the centre halves?
And I said Gray, and it's completely. Do you know what? I admit it, I'm useless. But we've got Vicario in goal, Spence, Danso. I forget we've got Danso and Davis. I think this is a really good call, actually.
Write down the date, the 27th of April, 2025, the year of our Lord 2025, the 27th day of the month. Gray is playing in the midfield. He's starting in the midfield. Write it down.
Exactly. And then we got
Bergvale playing right back. What is going on?
Yeah. And then Johnson, Solanke, and Tell. Exactly. And then on the bench we've got Kinski, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Basuma, Sarr, Kulu, Odebert, Richarlison. Jim, this says to me, or this screams to me, he's taking Europe very, very seriously, because he's rested a lot of the real key people, Kulu, Romero, Van de Ven. I mean, what do you think of the lineup?
Yeah, I think it's a good lineup, Kate. Look, let's be honest, right? Davis is a warrior. He won't let us down. He very rarely lets us down. I
Oh
like
no,
Danso.
you've said it now, Jimbo. You've said it now. You know he's going to have a mare.
If you asked me if I wanted Danso or Romero, and I'd say Danso. I think that he wants to be at this club, and I don't think Romero does.
Jim, I'm going to give you some praise here because it's basically gone quite staunch against Kuti now because he said, I know the timings of the interview. It's not like he'd recorded it at half time and it went out, straight after the Forest game. But and I know, he was taken out of context. But by the same, they all know how it works. It would have been vetted by his people, and the worry is it would have been vetted by Spurs. But for him to essentially be putting out there any figure, even in the way that he did, at this stage in the season is rough. Is rough. Listen, Danny is a strange guy. He's beautiful. He's lovely as a person, but every so often he absolutely loses it. I think he's got an awful lot of frustration because he must get headaches from scraping his hair back like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's got a little radar, an IPK transfer football radar inside his bum. That's how he knows so much about transfers.
He's actually doing the watch along with Ben straight after the show. So big up to Danny. But look, Phil, what about you?
Shout out to Danny's dad. Shout out to Danny's dad. I met him at the casino when they televised the second leg of the semi-final against Frankfurt, and what a lovely guy. Look at Leo. Leo, listen, big yourself up every time. I didn't spot it at the time. Leo delivered to me a Colorado Spurs shirt that I'd procured a few days previous. And I only just noticed yesterday, Leo, I meant to text you, sorry, mate. He put Phil P, woo, all over the bottom of the packaging, and I'd only just seen it yesterday. Thanks, Leo. Amazing. I should have that on. I'll maybe change. Halfway through this pump up and put it on for the people. Let me know if you want the people.
I was very lucky. I got the Esther's shirt that they wear in the pub, and luckily Ozzy, Ledley, and Mickey signed it for me when we was lucky enough to go up there. So it'll never be worn again. But I had to get the name dropping in so that people can mark it off their bingo cards. So,
I swear to God. I'm just saying, Leo was kind enough to bring me a shirt, right? Colorado Spurs, bigging him up. And you just got to drop in some of the all-time great players of our club. Just like boom, boom, boom in there. But big up Leo anyway. Let's get this back on track, yeah?
Yeah, big up Leo every time. Phil, what's your make of the team? What's your thoughts?
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry, Jim. Finish.
Jesus. Shall I go or would you want to go, Phil?
No, you carry on.
All right. Well, I love the idea. I love the idea of
beauty, baby.
I love the idea of Bergville and Gray together in the middle. Let's see how that works. Because they're our future, without any doubt whatsoever. And it's a strong front four for me as well. Maddison, Johnson, Solanke, and Tell. So Tell's starting to pick up and look a better player.
And it's his birthday.
You know what I think. Everyone knows what I think of Solanke. And I like Johnson as well. And Madder's in there. So it's a good front four. So it's a good team, Kate. It's a team that is capable. If it will or not is another matter, but they're capable.
Yeah, this is kind of how I feel, what Bill's just put. So do I, Jim, but not at Anfield. But at the same time, does it really matter if we win or lose this game? I couldn't give a monkeys. I don't know about you, Phil, but I don't care.
I give a monkeys. I don't want to lose this game. Not at all.
Well, I don't want to lose, but I don't really care.
I'm almost halfway between these two outlooks. I would say my worry with that. Look, we need to test these players out because if Gray's not going to get a chance in midfield now, in two aspects, because of how poorly the midfield has been functioning as a unit this season, and when the league games really we know, as to your point, Jim, to your point, Kate, none of us want to lose this game, but ultimately, we've gone all in. All the chips are in the middle for Europa at the moment. So if Gray's not getting a game now in midfield, we all might as well pack up and go home, and he might as well pack up and go home. The others matters in the midfield together. It's a little bit lightweight for me. It's a bit lightweight, and away at Anfield, let's see, they're going to be taken out into deep water. But that's where people are forged. That's where players forge their reputation. Yeah. So get amongst it. They've got the legs. They can, they're two of them at least. They're young and exuberant. And Madders likes to put himself around a bit. So yeah, let's see what they're made of in the free world that can't beat a man. But he does like the back stick. He gets the. I think he must be the opposite side of the coin to Keno in holiday mode. He gets to the back stick, not looking to have a cheeky cigarette and talk to the girls in the crowd. He's looking to score goals. So let's see if he can. I am surprised he hasn't played Richie, because I thought Richie up at Anfield, maybe he'll.
I got that one right. I thought Richie had played. Well, I didn't get it right. I got it wrong, but I did think.
But listen, just in honour of Jed Spence playing, I'm going to. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you got the keeper. Actually, sorry, free. Let's respect the host. But listen, just out of respect for Jed Spence, I'm going to put my sunglasses on for 30 seconds. I'm going to pretend like I'm on the podcast with Rio.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. I think you misunderstood. I don't want to lose any game ever. I just don't really care because it means nothing. But
Hey,
I will share.
You want to lose this game?
I will share the Liverpool team just to cheer us all up. They've got obviously Alisson in goal, then Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Gakpo, Robertson, Gravenberch, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, with their subs being Kelleher, Endo, Nunez, Chiesa, Jones, Elliott, Jota, Tsimikas, and Quansah. I mean, Jimbo, that's the team and a half. There isn't anyone there that doesn't scare the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie.
Well, they don't scare me, Kate. They're footballers. And there's 11 men against 11 men. If ours go out there and give it their all, they give them a game. They're good footballers, our players. They're a better team, Liverpool. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say we've got a better team than them, because we haven't. They've got a much better team than us, but it's still 11 against 11. And we've beat Liverpool once this season already. So why not? Have some fucking faith in our players, woman. We've beaten 1-0.
Did we?
Yes.
What, in the league?
Yeah, in the League Cup, Kate.
In the League Cup.
The League Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a strong team out as well, so we can't beat
I
them.
remember.
We've done it once. Why not twice?
Danny's caught me. Danny knows I'm getting my Bilbao outfit ready.
Have you booked your tickets?
No, because I'll wait and see how I'm fixed. So, don't like to count my chickens or anything like that.
No.
Look, the Liverpool team, obviously fantastic. The only worry I would have, the thing that does scare me, is why have they got those red boxes for players to sit on wherever they're shooting that photo of Van Dijk? I'm not sure how natural that is in a football setting. And also, to be fair, but what is in Van Dijk's man bun? Can Danny use his ITK bun radar to maybe put a message out to Van Dijk's bun and find out what is in there?
Yeah,
is he saving up money? Is it the Christmas club money, like Margin in The Simpsons? I think that's where she keeps her Christmas money.
It could be. He's got in there.
Yeah.
He's got in there a little microphone, like a little headpiece thing, where he can hear what Slot's instructions are. Just saying. Maybe. But
to be fair, that would have been pretty surplus requirements for the first 6 years he was at Liverpool, but now comes in pretty handy.
Look, Salah, we've got to touch on Salah. Not in the best of form, but he's bagged 27 goals, 18 assists already this campaign, and he does tend to enjoy this fixture, registering 20 goal involvements in 23 matches against Spurs. I mean, Jim, how do we keep Salah quiet? It ain't going to be easy.
Of course, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be easy to keep the whole team quiet, Kay. But if they're up for it and they go out there and they're on it, we'll give them a good game. We will, but they've got to be up for it and want it. You know, it's a good chance for some of these young players now to show what they can do against a big team. You know, it's the biggest team in England at the minute. They're top of the league. So,
you know what I would have liked to have seen? I would have liked to have seen Spence against Salah because I think he actually did play quite well against him.
Yeah.
But let's see. Look, Adobe played very well in the two legs, although I was absolutely gutted for Spence. I thought he should have got the nod. You know, Destiny with his performances over the two legs against Frankfurt, you know, shut me up. And ultimately, look, that's what we all want to see. When we critique the players or the manager or anything else about the club, all we want is for them to turn around and say, have that.
Yeah.
Have some of that, mate. I did score. Or I did defend well. Or we did get through. But look, let's see. And look, the thing I would just call for is a bit of calm, right? Again, going back to what I said, I'll never do this personally myself, but I won't go at people on social media. That's, you know, it's not my style. I'm not on social media for that exact reason. But I will be the most upset person. I almost said something else. If we don't win, right? As much as I'm trying to manage my own expectations and everyone else's expectations about what's coming in an hour and a few minutes. In the end of the day, right? We haven't been great in the league. I don't think we're going to switch it on. Although last season, in the game that would have stopped the Gooners winning the title, as we famously know, the manager went all guns blazing to try and win the game. And I think, unfortunately, that's probably where a few fans actually, you know, the mask started to slip for Ange a little bit. Even though results have already started to go, I think the relationship with the crowd broke down a little bit there, because ultimately you've just shown up here, boss, and this is our club, and he's acknowledged we'll be here much long after he's gone and all the players have retired, but to tell us how to support the club, I think, you know, it didn't sit well with a lot of people. But look, fair enough, he's a professional, right? That is the one thing I would say about it. He's a professional, the players are professionals, absolutely they should want to win every game, but you know, I would have just liked to have seen them come with the same energy a few days earlier when we played the North London derby that we lost. And also, I'd like to have seen a bit more of that energy in the 17-odd league. You know, so little in all sorts of ways, I'd like a little bit more consistency out of the club. But you know, let's see. But yeah, look, just I know everyone, you know, life these days, it's all about being right and mudding other people, and you know, let's just try and be, you know, try and remember, you know, we're all part of the Spurs family, and just like any family, people in the family that act like dickheads, and you'd rather not see around the Christmas table or the Sunday roast table or at family gatherings. But ultimately, they're still family. So let's have a little bit of class, a little bit of decorum, and just, you know, let's give it a go today. Absolutely. Let's hope the team give it a go. But remember that there'll be other members of the North London parish that moved in relatively recently, probably 100 years ago, that will be cheering on Spurs even more than maybe some of us will today. So if look, it's a no-lose scenario really for Spurs today, ultimately, because if we win, Spurs won, absolutely brilliant. If we lose, you know, we move on, hopefully, to marching on to a great result on Thursday. And, you know, Arteta can sell some more of the Arsenal tears on eBay or whatever he does to supplement his eyebrow manicuring budget.
I've actually heard.
No one, your hair colour's fooling no one. Get a life.
Yes.
Just be natural, yeah? Be natural.
I have heard through the grapevine that they've actually rehomed Win the Dog and got a groundhog that they've called Segundo, which is actually Spanish for second. So poor old Win is looking for a new home, but second place groundhog. There we go. I am kind of
so neighbourly, Kate. Maybe we could have taken Win the Dog up to Anfield and presented him to,
Liverpool.
to Arne Slot after the game.
That is a very, very good idea. That's what we should have done for sure.
And we could have borrowed
big
those
up to everyone coming in.
We could have borrowed the loudspeakers, couldn't we, from the Arsenal training ground as
We
well?
could have.
I mean,
We could have.
Because that worked so well for them, didn't it?
It did. We've got over 300 watching, only 53 likes. So can everyone smash a like for us, please? I am hoping that regarding the score, whether it be that we are 0-0 or 3-0 down at half time, or I'm kind of hoping, Jimbo, they don't feel the need to bring on, or 3-0 up, whatever the score may be, Jimbo, that we don't need to bring on Romero and Van der Ven. I'm kind of hoping they don't get touched. I mean, I saw an article today that said that Romero has said yes to Atletico Madrid, but they're expecting it to be a difficult transfer because Tottenham wants so much money for him. So we won't, my opinion on Romero is my opinion on Romero. But I am hoping we don't have to play them today, Jimbo, because Thursday's so important. I mean, I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know me, Kate. I just go with the flow. What happens, happens. If he brings them on, he brings them on. And if they got to play Thursday, then so be it. I mean, they're professional footballers. They can play 2 games in a week. Look, everything is on Thursday for this club this season, but it's still to win a game like this. It's still nice for us as fans. We'll be buzzing if we beat Liverpool, the best team in the country. So it's an important game for us fans, I think, because the one thing I will say, when we lose now, it don't seem to hurt as much as it used to because we kind of got used to it. I used to go into a bit of a depression when we lost, but now it's like, all right, we've lost. Let's move on to next week, and that's sad, really, but that's how this season's been. We've been so used to it, but it gives the whole club, the whole fan base, a massive, massive lift and make everybody feel good if we win today. So it's a really, really important day, Kay. I think really important.
Well, winning breeds winning, and it would be rather nice to go into a European semi-final on the back of a big win. But go on, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry to interrupt, Kate. Look, the other thing is, if we can produce some sort of backs to the wall type performance and win, or win in any way, shape, or form, or get a draw, and obviously to clinch, Liverpool. Let's not forget. In the end, the players who are playing, but the whole club, could then take that confidence into the next game. So, ultimately, we've just got to keep going. I mean, I did see Brian's comment there, and he said a bit of an iffy lineup. I don't know whether he was talking about us on the panel or the Spurs starting 11. But big up both. Anyway. Big up yourself. Yeah, both. As my mum would say, if the cap fits, wear it.
Exactly that. He also said all he cares about now. Yeah.
Sorry, Michael W. put getting used to losing. That's really sad. It is sad, Michael, but that's how it's been this season. It's kind of like it's kind of been the norm for us Spurs fans, which is sad. Especially, I mean, I've supported Spurs over 50 years, been watching them, and I've seen some great times. So this season is like I can't really get my head around this season. I can't really remember a season like this. The one under Ozzy was a bad season, but we had superstars in that team, so it was a bit different, I suppose, to this.
But Ozzy got replaced as well, though, didn't he, Jim?
What's that?
Ozzy got replaced, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was going badly, and he got. I think the danger is losing's been normalised, but also some fans, and we know ourselves, we recognise it in ourselves when we're watching and going to games, but we also recognise it with friends when you're talking about things. There's a level of apathy that's crept in as well. Not that people don't care about the club anymore, but the difficulty is with losing. Everything in football and life is a habit, and it's all about the momentum and how things are moving generally. you get into that flow state, whether it's with work, relationships, whatever it is, where you almost don't need to think. You see everything coming at you in slow motion and you can look and react, and it feels like you're not even trying. Whereas when things are going against you, it literally feels like a slog, and no matter what you try, what you do, no matter how hard you work, it isn't coming your way, right? And the difficulty, I think, at the moment for Spurs, under, say, Poch in a, I want to say near distant past, but actually you think about it and it's like 6 years ago now, 7 years ago, really, 7+ years since prime Poch, big up Smithy. But if we lost a game, you were absolutely crestfallen, because that could be the difference between Spurs achieving something or getting top four. Not that top four is a trophy, and I've always believed that. It isn't. But you think to yourself, now losing almost doesn't matter, because now that we're basically safe from relegation, you're almost like, well, I know a big impact on income, absolutely. But ultimately, whether we're 17th or 15th or 14th or 13th, we're still bottom half of the table. Absolute disgrace, really, of a season. But there is still that where, out of all the muck and disaster and shambolic nature of everything that's happened, we could still have an unbelievably glorious end to proceedings, which I think for everyone, and you said it, Jim, said it so well, it would be so, so good for the fans, for the club itself, for the players. And no matter what we think of him now and how tainted things have got for a lot of people, even for Big Ange himself, if he could turn round, at the end of that trophy presentation, if Spurs get there and if we win, two biggest words in football in one sentence, and we had succeeded, for him to be able to turn around and say, I told you I was winning my second season, and you supporters can stick it up your bottoms. Levy, you stick your job where the sun doesn't shine, and all you reporters, let's go and find the nearest bottles of Carver, and then you can stick it as well. Stick it on your expenses. I'm back on the first Qantas back to Melbourne, and give it that one, and maybe throw his medal into the crowd as well. Do up a bit of Jose. Let's have that.
That
I'll
would
catch
be
it in my
pretty
teeth, Ange. You aim for me, and I'll catch it in my teeth.
To be fair, that would be an amazing end to a diabolical season. But the fact that Bentancur's not even on the bench, Jimbo, Kulu's not starting, I am guessing Madders is probably going to miss out against Bodo Glimt on Thursday. Am I looking too much into it? Or do you think maybe Madders will still get in there and Gray will be the one that misses? Obviously, I don't expect Gray to be involved. But, I mean, what do you think? Benny's been left out completely.
I think Bentancur's, I think, very, very important for Thursday. I think he's really important. I think he's played really well in the last couple of games in Europe. He's gone a bit unnoticed, where he's just done his job solid, and I think he's been fantastic. But look, who knows, Kate? We might have a good first half, right? He decides to change matters, take him off, put Kulu on for half a game, and they both could start Thursday. These are professional athletes, Kate. They're fit. Yeah, it's not like you're talking about putting me out there for half a game and then sticking me on Thursday. I'd probably die. So
we could put you in goal, Jimbo.
What?
We could put you in goal.
Yeah, I'll fill the goal up. But it's they're professional. They're professional athletes. So for me, if he plays today and plays Thursday, it's no big deal. But let's see what happens.
I mean, a lot of people are saying Madders will start Thursday, and Solanke will get missed out.
Okay. Think of it until you said it. It was a worry, but I think, like Jim, like he did against Forest, he may have a pre-planned, play the first half, then rotate. Because remember, Maddison very bravely went in, won us that penalty. Obviously, he could have scored himself by getting it over the keeper, but the keeper got a touch on it. That was a horrific challenge. He could have been seriously injured, not just head-wise. If you see how he hit the deck, both his knees completely,
Yeah.
thankfully bent the right way, but he completely doubled up. And you just think, so that could have his knee joints and everything. But thankfully, and touch wood, he's okay. But shocking challenge. And for them to argue that, for the keeper to be arguing, I think was a bit distasteful. I like a laugh, as you know, but, keeper needs to shut his trap and get back in his goal and be thankful he wasn't sent to prison, let alone, just given a yellow card. But, yeah, look, I mean, Matters doesn't play in the home leg against Bodo because we need to really get the business done in that home leg. I think as much as we can. But look, let's see. I mean, they're going to have to get through a fair bit of workload that midfield. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform, how they line up. Look, the other thing is, of course, we've said about Matters, but what does that mean about Bergval? Or Bergval, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I think he, is up there. My personal shouts for player of the season would be Kulu, but he dropped off a cliff really since, and obviously did get then injured. Say Spence and his performances since he's came back into the fold really has been instrumental in the team and been a really shining light in a poorly performing team. Not easy to do, particularly when he's been written off by so many managers like he has, particularly at Spurs, which opened up a whole other level of discussion about what they were seeing from the player, because clearly he's good enough. So then does it come to them for man management as to why he didn't get games? And then, of course, I think, Bergval is, for a player of his age to be performing at this level, really good, really good. Can't wait to see more. Hope he continues on this trajectory of development. Because, I think he's really, the way he feints past people, the way he likes to play, I think he's got a lot about him. And I've really, those three players really, but especially Bergval of late, has been probably one of the only enjoyable bits of an otherwise pretty gritty season.
You can't say that, Phil.
What?
I got told off.
That hasn't been an enjoyable season.
We got told off that we big up our players too much because I was saying how brilliant I think Bergval's been. We're not allowed to hype him up.
Look, I understand that, and you don't want to get carried away. It's not like he's going to get in the team of the season for the Premier League or anything like that. So I completely get why people want to, and especially with young players, you don't want to, and I think the British media has done this for years and years and years, particularly with footballers, but all sorts of talented people. You build people up and then you knock them down. And I don't think it's useful for anyone. But he's had a great start to his Spurs career in his first season. You can see he's developed and grown and handling the physicality of the league better and better and better. So, there's all I would say to all Spurs fans is, yes, don't get too out of your pram and big the players up too much, because ultimately we are where we are. We're in a shocking space in the league. So, I don't think the players can be going home, like opening up the bottles of Carver in their own fridges at the moment because of how we've done in the league. But there's been some, and look, I've got to shout out the Fighting Cock podcast. They coined a beautiful phrase on there the other day about some of the young players in the Forest game. They said it's like green shoots in Chernobyl. It's like, everything's just like a complete disaster zone, toxic waste everywhere. You can't, you definitely don't be living there, or you certainly didn't in the late 80s, but you've got these little green shoots trying to come up through the toxic waste in a toxic wasteland on and off the pitch of late. So look, we'll take any green shoots where we can, but absolutely get back in your box, Kate and Jim. Don't big up the players, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Well, apparently Ben and Sim, the Flower Pot Men, or Sim and Ben, the Flower Pot Men, Ben was never going, but apparently Sim bottled out of going to Anfield, I've just been told. So I think they're both doing the watch along together, and I don't really blame him. It's a long way to go to watch us.
Who's got Sim's ticket?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's where Nick is because he was
That's the
supposed to be here
question.
and he couldn't make it. So maybe Nick's gone up there.
Shame on Sim. Have faith, Sim. Have faith we can go up there and beat them. Shame on you, Sim.
Hey, Jimbo. Jim, never mind that. Never mind. Jesus, calling the geezer out on his own channel. Mate, you're brave as a lion, bearing in mind you're locked up in the dungeon in your own house, mate. Never in the same room with your wife now since you kick you down the stairs.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, I know you do, mate.
Listen,
well, that's why you're in the dungeon.
Exactly. We've got 12 minutes till the show comes to an end, and then obviously the watch along starts at 4:15. But I need everyone in the chat to tell me what they think the score will be. I'm looking forward to this. Who will be the goal scorers for Tottenham? And we will read out as many as we can. We have had a couple already. We had Sunshine on Spurs saying they think Tottenham will win 3-2. And AFL Entertainment said we will win today. 2 for Johnson, 1 for Danso, and 1 for Madders. Final score 4-2 to us.
Son.
I'll take that all day long. 5-1 loss today, says Spurs.
I don't condone betting, but if you put like a couple of quid on that and it comes in, you'll be a very happy person. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't
7-0. 3-0 at least for Liverpool. All mistakes from our midfield. 3-0 Liverpool. 2-1 Spurs, Porro and Brennan Johnson. Archie to get man of the match. Phil, what are you fancying today's score and scorers?
My heart and my head are telling me the same thing. I reckon. I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to be something like 4-1 to Liverpool.
Right.
But, we don't want to be too downcast. So we'll say 2-1 to Liverpool.
2-1 to Liverpool.
Two bites of the cherry there, Jimbo. Bit like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Shout out to Pippa in Australia.
462 people watching.
Thanks for the people.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for being with us today. Please hit those like buttons. Yes, there's only less than 100 likes still. We are winning 2-1, says Nick. But we are starting with a back three. Gray is not playing midfield. Interesting. 2-1 Tottenham. 3-0 Tottenham. 5-1 Liverpool, says Samantha. Kevin Gonzalez says 1-1. Daniel says it's going to be 3-1 to Liverpool. And Scott Roundtree is going 7-0 Liverpool. I am actually going for quite a bonkers scoreline, not because I'm going Delulu, but just because it's a very high scoring one. I'm going for Liverpool 5, Tottenham 2. So it's kind of like the 6-3. But I've had it all week that a 5-2 is going to come in. And I think the 2 goals for us will come from... I think Tell's going to get one on his birthday, and I think Madders is going to get the other one. And I've no idea who's going to get it for Liverpool. Probably all 5 for Salah. I don't know. Mark says 4-0 Liverpool, 2-1 to Liverpool. Danny Kiriakou says, Sim offered me the ticket. No thanks. F that. 4-1 Liverpool, Salah with 2 goals, Van Dijk and whoever else. Spurs score, and comes on at 91st minute. Bullet header, screams down the camera. It's who we are, mate. I would love to see it. Tottenham win 6-2. Jimbo, look, obviously Phil and I have both gone with a negative-ish prediction. I say negative-ish, but, it's more, said it with my head and not my heart. My heart says it's going to be 4-0 to Tottenham, but I'd never listen to my heart. So, Jim, what do you fancy?
Well, Man United are just on the cusp of losing to a 10-man Bournemouth, which is always nice to see. I'm going to go 3-1 the mighty Spurs. I think we're going to spoil their party. And why you got your head in your hands? What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you was actually going to say something like quite realistic.
That is realistic. I think we're going to go up there and all their little partying before the game with their flares and cheering, their league champions, all that is going to go out the window till another week. They will win it, but not this week.
And who's going to score for Tottenham those 3 goals?
I'm going to go. Brendan Johnson's going to get one. I'm going to go. Bergville will get one, and Solanke will get one.
Well, Jim, do you know what he said to me last night?
Can I ask something, mate?
Go on,
Can
Phil.
I ask something? Probably to you more than Jimbo, but do you think Jimbo's so optimistic and like positive, and someone so overly positive about Spurs or optimistic? Because obviously he's ended up married to yourself, and only a pure optimist would have even led him to talk to you in that cafe in the first place. So he's been right once, and he thinks let's keep backing the thing, yeah, and we could do this.
I actually thought you was going to say something.
Do it too. Come on.
I actually thought you were going to say something really insulting, like being married to you would have to make anyone positive just to get through the day. I thought it was going to be something like that, but I've no idea why Jim's so.
Phil would never ever say something like that.
No, Phil wouldn't say something like that. Jimbo's quality. But yeah, do you know what? To be fair, who knows? But I love Jim's positivity. It equals out my not so much positivity. Nick, the flip-flops here, who was meant to be here at 3:00. Can you text me, please? Let me know what Jim's on. I'll have some of that.
You won't be saying that after, Danny, when we've spoilt their party, mate.
He goes to me last.
I want to know whether Sim sell the ticket to a Liverpool fan so they can see the title procession, and he's going to give all that money. He's going to give all that money to his nephew, Ben's little man, maybe or something.
3-0 to Spurs, says Daniel Field. 5-1 to Liverpool, says Louis. 3-1 to Spurs, says Games Enjolia. DB says, being positive, I could see a 4-1 defeat. 4-2 Liverpool, 1-1. And we've got a 4-2 defeat, sadly. 2 for Salah, 1 for Diaz, 1 for Gakpo, and Madders and Solanke to score. 5-1 bloodbath. Jimbo's always right. Oh, if only that were true. If Jimbo was always right, we would be sat top of the league, because he always backs us to win 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, something. But only way I see us winning is if there is something like a red card, which you never know. But he said to me last night, Jim.
One thing that we haven't talked about, sorry to interrupt, Kate, one thing we haven't talked about, Solanke, much as Richarlison probably wants to, get on the pitch and maybe score against his old foe, being an ex-Evertonian. Of course, Solanke might have a point to prove because he went to Liverpool on a transfer and didn't really cut the mustard or properly. Did he get a fair crack of the whip? I don't know, but certainly he might think to himself, I wouldn't mind scoring a couple of goals today and just showing them what they missed out on, maybe.
It's true. He could do. He could be saying, I want to show what they're missing out on. Who knows? I don't care what he's thinking as long as he scores a few goals. I do love Solanke. I think he gets a bad rap, but he does need to start scoring more goals. Did Ben and Sim sell this channel to Kate and Jim? No, it's still Ben and Sim's. 5-0. Oh, yeah. Jim said to me last night, if it's 3-1, I'm going to live on this forever. That's what he said. If he gets the score right, and I said, I'll happily kiss your feet.
I don't know what that means. What does that even mean?
No. It means all I'm going to hear forever is, see, I was right. I'm not actually sure who the ref is
I'd
today.
be more worried that he might put your life savings on Spurs winning 3-1.
That's good. If we had any life savings, if we had life savings, I'd be worried, but we don't. So
I've spent my life savings on the last Easter egg that I could find. I've got another mini eggs Easter egg to open up. So,
oh, don't! I ate my last Easter egg. Boo! How are Tottenham in a position to decide the title winner 2 times in a row? I know we always seem to have a say in these things, but yeah, Jimbo is always wrong.
It must go down so well from our friends from the south, mustn't it? The old Woolly Ferry mob must be really cheering on Spurs. Come on, Spurs, we love you, really.
Someone said to me the other day, it doesn't matter anyway because Spurs would throw the match if it would stop us winning the title like they did last year. They're so bitter. They're so unbelievably bitter up the road. It's unbelievable. 2-1 Spurs, and I can laugh.
There's a saying, look after your own yard. Spurs need to look after our own yard, and maybe the Woolwich need to look after their own yard. So if you had enough points, you wouldn't. You have enough points, and why don't you go to Anfield and do a bit? But unfortunately, by the time you get to Anfield, all you're going to be doing is giving the old guard of honour. So,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But look, that brings us to the end of the show. You don't have to worry about going anywhere. You will automatically be redirected to the watch along, which starts at about 15:15 with Ben and Sim, who bailed out. So I think everyone that goes over should hashtag Sim the Bottler because he bailed out on going to Liverpool.
Should we not find out the reason behind it first? Should we not find out the reason why he didn't go?
Well, it was Danny Kiriakou who said, I'm not doing the watch along because Sim bottled it about going to Liverpool. So we can blame Danny.
Yeah, but listen, Danny's been known to get a bit excitable, yeah? Unlike myself. So let's
like a puppy.
Wait until he puts his own case forward before we put it right on his toes. But then, if he has bottled it, we can put it right on his toes, right?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt.
God bless you for getting me involved. When you call, I answer. Jimbo, massive love to all of the We're Tottenham TV family. This is second time only appearance on the channel, but twice in 2. So maybe just like Spurs, things are turning around. Let's go.
Yes. And good things happen in threes because you've been on twice and now Tottenham are going to beat Liverpool. So, yeah, look, Sim has bottled it because he had a hangover, apparently.
Jesus.
This is breaking news.
You probably need a bit of Dutch courage to go and follow Spurs at Anfield.
True. But I still think the hashtag Sim's a bottler should apply. But look,
you know what it was? I think he drank too many Arsenal tears. That's what it is. And he ended up really dehydrated. So,
to be fair, Arsenal tears do taste amazing. So, listen, thank you to everyone that's watched the show.
With some earlier. Came up lovely.
Jimbo and I will be back on Thursday to do the pre-match pump up for the massive game against Bodo Glimt as well. But enjoy the game, everyone. Make sure you hashtag Sim's a bottler. Because I don't care about his story. I think he's bottled it. Thank you, Phil, for coming on, and Jimbo, obviously, as always. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.